Hello everyone and welcome to the first Spooky Skeletons War Recap video. This is a new thing I'm going to be doing once a week where I highlight just a couple attacks from our wars. I'm going to go ahead and start with my co-leader, co-founder of the clan, Mephistopheles, with a couple of his first, I believe this is his second ever war attack as a Town Hall 11. So I'm going to start by drawing it up a little first, showing you how it's going to happen, and then we'll dive into it. So he's going to start by dropping the Quakes right here between the heroes. And Quakes are much better than Jump Spell in this case because you really want the troops to be able to funnel into this core throughout the whole course of the attack. With these big ring bases, sometimes you get troops, they come in on this side, go all the way around, something happens, they come back in the middle, I've seen that happen way too many times to settle for just using a jump spell that only lasts a minute or so in the middle. And then so what he's going to do is he's going to drop the golems here and here. Get some nice tank support. Wall breakers are going to come in here. And then, of course, golems are going to swell into the middle. Now what's going to happen, the trick with this base is being a GoWiVaBo, and with the current meta being all balloons in the clan castle, which it turns out to be, or mostly balloons anyway, is you're going to get the balloons to come out right about here when you're facing these heroes. And so what you have to be careful of is that if these Valkyries, which with their hyperactive AI, they're going to run right in, they're going to get right into the heroes, and what ends up happening for a lot of players is these balloons come in and they just drop bombs on them, and 1, 2, 3, all the Valkyries are dead and the raid's over. So what you have to be really careful of is starting this attack, making a nice funnel, and then doing a slightly delayed Valkyrie release, and I believe that's exactly what he does. So, like I said, golems come down first, okay? Wall breakers in. They're going to swell into these Archer Tower, Wizard Tower area. And then he's actually going to drop some bowlers right here. And what's really good about bowlers is that they're going to run up here and they're going to target this building and this building. And with that splash damage that they're going to do, they end up making a funnel sort of like this because of this splash damage. And it makes this buffer zone where now these buildings here and here are taken out. The heroes are lingering right in front of this now broken up wall because of the quake. And then he's going to send in the wizards, the heroes, of course. And then the Valkyries are going to come in delayed. They're going to run right up to these heroes. And then the clan castle lure will come out. And hopefully the queen and stuff will be able to deal with that. So let's get started and watch what happens. So like I said, quakes come down right on between those heroes. A little bit of damage on the Inferno. It's always a plus. No mistakes. Rage comes down early. This is something I try to tell my clan members all the time. You want to use your spells earlier rather than later because they're more efficacious. You're gaining more momentum. This rage spell is going to be increasing. There's going to be more troops alive, and therefore they're going to have the 150% of the DPS that's alive is going to be much higher earlier rather than later. You always want to drop a rage down early. Also helps those wall breakers just to ensure that if some of them die or something like that, that at least one of them is alive to bust open that wall, but it doesn't matter. So, heroes and the bowlers come out. Sorry guys, a little bit of lag on this mirroring. Alright, so what happens now, you see how there's this, the Valkyries ran up to the king, but you see how there's this buffer? So the Valkyries are all right here. They are now going to zoom across to the Archer Queen. And now we got the balloons and the dragon coming out. And of course, the Valkyries can't target them, but we're still going to see, because there's no buildings now for them to target out here, they're going to run over to the Archer Queen, and now they're going to come into these pedestals, and they'll be in the core. Alright, so now he knows that if he doesn't freeze these balloons right here, that they are just going to toast those Valkyries. And because these Valkyries actually swoop into this side alley, he drops on this rage so that they can get all the way through this high health expo and storage in time to swoop around and get back into the core. So he drops that freeze, followed by the rage. Bowlers are going to do a little bit of work, and the town hall goes down. So now let's see what the status is. So down here we got Golemite and the King, and we have a full health Golem and what looks like about 5 Valkyries, plus the Queen and the Warden. So he drops the heal spell on here. Remember, the Inferno Tower only blocks healing from the troops that it's targeting. So what he's banking on is that there's going to be some troops that can benefit from this heal spell, just to keep them alive from that dragon fire a little bit longer. And they do end up taking out the whole inside, but as you can see, now they're kind of trapped in this back corner here and here, and everything's going to die in this corner. And freeze trap comes down over there, but that's not a big deal. You see people not wanting to get attached to their freeze spells. They just kind of put them in wherever. At least that's my thought. So it's going well up top in this alley, and the key thing is he took out both Inferno Towers in here, and now with both tanks still alive, all 3 heroes still alive, it's really just this back alley that he's concerned about, and this expo, of course. But with so much of his kill squad still alive, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Now, here's something that's really important. You see the Warden use the ability right there, and that's to keep these 2 wizards alive just long enough so that they can get a few crucial hits on these air troops so that it's easier on the Queen. And you see both of them go down right away, but it does allow the Warden to get a lot of damage done on him, and while the Queen tanks. And then you see these follow-up wizards targeting a little bit. Of course, the Warden goes down in 1 hit, but that's a new Warden for you. So this is exactly what you want to see, and this is the best case scenario you can expect at a Town Hall 10 or 11 attack, is with these big ring bases. You really need Golem, your BK alive, so that just having them, one or the other, with the Archer Queen behind, they can end up sweeping down this alleyway, and knowing that all the damage is going to target either the King or the Golem, because that's always what they're encountering first. This Archer Tower is going to fall right away, and then this splash damage is not going to be that, it's not going to help against these bowlers and the Golems, and certainly the air defense is going to be no help. So now it goes down pretty quickly. Bowler's able to take out that Expo, and a Wizard's clean up. So very nice attack by Mephistopheles. Of course, we expect nothing less for those of you who know him. Then I'm going to go down to one of our newer members, Mystical Dragon, with a Shattered GoVaHo. So GoVaHo, of course, is a very popular attack for good reason. And whenever you do a GoVaHo, you have to pay attention to a couple things. So obviously, it's mostly a hog-based attack. Well, most of the time, especially Town Hall 9. It's mostly a hog-based attack, whereas you might see a Town Hall 10, mostly the Valkyrie side with hog support because of the higher health. But we might see that change with the level 7 hogs being able to be in the clan castle. But until that really changes, mostly Town Hall 9 is going to be hog-based with Valkyrie support. So as you can see, the clan castle lure and the Queen are going to be right there. So what he's going to do is Golems are going to come down in this area and this area. They're going to just swoop in this sort of path, And he's going to drop some wizards down in a funnel on these garbage buildings so that they can take out this queen. But as you can see, the CC lure actually is about here. I think it's somewhere near the edge of this wall. And so the golem is actually going to lure the clan castle, which is somewhat poor base designed by this guy. So what they're going to actually be able to do is they're going to be able to bust in through this wall here and then use a jump spell just over this wall. And so the Valkyries don't pay attention to anything in this compartment or over here. They're just going to make a beeline right for these three buildings. Sorry about that arrow, but just for these, the air defenses, the town hall, and the CC's treasury, clan castle, excuse me. And so really clutch idea just to put the jump spell over only this wall, because if you put him over here, sure, that gets into more compartments, but there's an idea of pathing being more important. So that's going to take out the queen. Obviously, most important thing you can do for a hog-based attack, and hopefully the hogs, because there's nothing really to draw them in here, the Valkyries are hoping to be able to take out anything, any sort of traps or big bombs in this area, so that the hogs never even have to run into it. So then over here, what we're going to see is that once this side is being taken care of, he's gonna drop hogs over on this side in a surgical way to take out this mortar and this archer tower. Now, this is really important because those defenses are going to be facing this way, targeting the Valkyrie, shattered portion of the attack, even maybe this archer tower, leaning in towards the middle, and these hogs are going to come in unabated, right in, and that's really important because when you're sending it in small groups, you have to ensure that they can make it all the way without being targeted, because if they make it to these groupings of buildings, 3 or 4 hogs should be able to take out, small groups of turrets, but that's only possible if they're not being targeted the whole time. So he has 3 streams of hogs there. Once those hogs reach about this wall, then he sends in this stream right here, which will go, of course, from this cannon to this cannon, or the archer tower. And then once those get to this wall, and now this group of hogs is near this archer tower, now this cannon is going to be turning down, obviously. This archer tower is going to be facing here. Let me make that a different color. So now we have archer tower facing down, the wizard tower facing down, and of course this cannon, and this mortar, and the king is all going to be right here. Now, what he does with the last stream is he saved, I think, 3 or 4 hogs, and he's going to be able to come in right into these 2 defenses, and this wizard tower is never going to target these hogs, and so what's going to end up happening is sort of a general pattern of coming in and then swooping up around this way. Okay, and that's going to be important because once the Valkyries come in here, they're going to hopefully take out this portion because the hogs will have path from here to here. And you're going to actually see that because of the way he funnels, both of the heroes are going to end up rotating around this way. So you're going to see hogs. It should look like a pretty, around-the-clock kind of attack where you attack from one side, and then the side you make the hogs come in on, it's going to rotate the whole attack, so they're going to kind of come around this direction naturally, and everything will kind of meet up over here at the end. So that's exactly what you want to see in a GoVaHo. That's a really good pathing, and so watch how Mystical Dragon actually gets that done. So like I said, golems come down first. I personally would have opted for a cold-blooded attack for this. I think the 6 extra hogs or a couple extra Valkyries makes a much bigger difference. But one thing we see that helps is that he lures it. What he might have been able to do better is if he could have lured or had the golem go to maybe this corner if possible, he could have gotten these CC troops right over the queen. That one poison could have taken both of them out, and he could have kind of... He ends up saving that second poison for the skeleton traps or the king, I believe, which is a really smart idea because keep in mind, it does reduce the attack speed of heroes by about 40%, I believe. I'm not sure what level, but it's about 50% decrease in their attack speed, which really helps hogs clear out the backside. But again, he could have maybe gotten the poison, especially with the bigger radius now. He could have maybe gotten both. Now, again, people don't want to get don't want to get attached to the freeze trap, so this guy just puts it right outside. But notice how the king gets dropped right on top of the enemy queen. The queen never even targets him. But he does run the risk of having that BK targeted a little bit by the dragons. But hopefully, or because he does good execution with his wizards, we do see that it goes down quickly. Now, wall breakers do open this up. But because of this jump spell, all the troops are going to rush right in here. And it does get into this part. So that's a natural tendency for this whole attack to, again, move this direction. Which is really important when you've got hog support on the side. So luckily, he also has this sort of, just the off chance that that wizard right there took out a big bomb on its own. So the rage comes down. Valkyries go ham. And we see the hogs get dropped. So, just like I said, hogs reach the wall, right for this mortar. Second stream of hogs comes down. And he's going to save that CC hogs, max hogs, for the third stream. Now, this is crucially important. Do you see this staggered approach? So it turns out that he does do this kind of fast. So these turrets do target the high health hogs. But that ends up being okay because of level 7 hogs, you always want to be bringing hogs in the clan castle. Because of that extra health, because of that extra DPS, you definitely want to bring hogs in the clan castle instead of that golem, because the level 6 golem is not going to help you nearly as much as having level 7 hogs, especially as a Town Hall 9, even as a Town Hall 10 too. So just like I said, here are the queen, the golem, some of the wizards swept around this side. And he's going to drop this heal spell over the BK because the BK is going to do the most damage to these maxable hogs survive. And we're going to see the second heal spell come down right over here. Remember, guys, you want to be using these spells earlier rather than later. Especially because there aren't any obvious big bomb spots. You're not saving it for any location in particular. You want to just, wait until there's a big conjunction. So it's when the BK was targeting the hogs here, and there are lots of turrets. There are lots of turrets in this area, so that's where the heal spells come down. And then we're gonna see them take out this last archer tower, just like I said, and then the cleanup is no problem. And with all those hogs and both heroes left alive, we got easy cleanup. So, as you can see, this is why it's really important to use double big bomb spots. Hogs are definitely still a threat at Town Hall 9. So, you guys really have to be defending against hogs, even though they lost their weakness. Spring traps and big bombs, still the best way to defend. But that's our first war recap video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing this once a week now, so look forward to next week. And until next time, stay spooky, everyone.